Good morning. Get fit. Hello. The sun is shining. Our neighbor's mowing our yard because the mower is in the shop and hasn't been fixed yet. So you're going to hear the mower coming around. But hey, it's live and that's the way it is, right? So we'll just roll with the punches. All right. So welcome. You need a towel. If you have a beach towel, that's great. If you have a regular, bath towel, that's great. We're going to use it to do some hip stretches towards the end of the practice. And, of course, blankets and an eye cloth or an eye pillow if you have one. That's fantastic. And let's come into, we're going to start on our back today. And I also had the playlist. It's not a playlist, it's a YouTube. Some nice relaxing music in the comments on the warning. So if you have that on another device, that's great. I've got mine in my ears. All right. It's been a little harried at my house this morning. I am not calm, but I will be. So let's roll on to our backs this morning, and I'm going to get you where you're going to be, and then I'm going to go join you on my mat. So find your way to your back. Finding your normal breath pattern. Just let your breath breathe you. Not trying to breathe any certain way. Coming into a place of stillness and quiet. And peace. My husband reminded me the other day of the phrase, keep calm and carry on. And that phrase came from King George the Sixth, I believe. The King's Speech, that's the George that it came from. He had prepared it in expectation or planning ahead if the Germans had won the war, and that was going to be his final anyway, what he said to his country, keep calm and carry on. And that was not found until just a few years ago. And it comes up everywhere, keep calm and drink coffee and, all these fun kind of things. But today, that's what I'd like to invite you to make your intention, your focus. Keep calm and carry on. The sun continues to rise. The sun continues to set. We continue to make our way to the grocery store. We continue to do all of the things necessary at this point. Some of you, I know some of us are out of work, but we're still living, we're still breathing, we're still here. So keep calm and carry on. I invite you to take one hand to your heart center and one hand to your belly now. And I've been learning some new things on this break that I'd like to share with you. So the first thing I would like to share with you is a deep belly breath. And I'm going to describe it, and then I'm going to ask you to try it. So you're going to fill your belly full, but you're not just going to fill your belly. You're going to take that breath all the way down to the pelvic floor, widening the sit bones underneath you, widening the hip bones. And laying down, you should be able to feel that. So your belly is going to rise. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's going to see your little round Santa Claus belly. Nobody's going to see your practice. So practice filling your belly full. Practice trying to leave your heart center just as it is. No breath entering into there. Just filling the belly all the way out to the pelvic floor, the pelvic bone, back to the sitting bones. filling it full, and a gentle exhale. We're going to practice that breath about 5 times, and you can begin when you're ready. No judgment here. If your chest rises, no worries. This is a practice. And on your next inhale, we're going to move that breath up to the heart center. So this time we're going to keep our belly relaxed and where it is. And we're going to breathe all the air into our lungs, into our heart center. We're going to fill back our ribs. See if you can feel those shoulder blades expanding behind you. Naturally rising, your body should naturally rise upwards. Of course it won't because you're lying back, but you should still be able to feel that. Maybe a little lift off the mat. And then an exhale. And we're going to do this about 5 times as well. Filling up the heart center, the shoulders, the ribs, expanding and releasing. So while you're doing that, I'm going to move back to my mat. So this time we're going to move into a filling of both places. So you can start with your belly, filling your belly full, expanding the breath into the pelvic floor, widening your sitting bones, bringing your breath up to your heart center, expanding your ribs, maybe taking in one more little sip of air, and then letting it release. Filling your belly, widening those sit bones, expanding the heart center, and releasing that breath. About 3 more times here of this breath, filling every part of the body from the hips up to the shoulders. Trying not to really work at it, but just letting it happen organically. Keep calm and carry on. When you're ready, let's take our arms over our head. Stretch our feet long. Reach for the wall behind us or whatever is behind us. Reach our toes forward. little flex of the heels towards whatever's in front of you. Continuing to take nice deep breaths. Let's slide those elbows down the floor, finding cactus arms beside you, tucking your shoulder blades underneath, letting those feet flop open. Just being here for a moment. Let's bring our feet up to the floor of the mat. Bring our knees into our chest. Take those hands, wrap them around the knees. Maybe your chin comes forward. Exhaling to release down. Maybe you take a little rock from side to side, giving your lower back some little good morning snuggles and hugs and love. Finding what works for you, what's comfortable for you this morning. Let's take a rock up and down vertical. Along the spine. Planting those feet back down on the floor. Fingertips grazing the heel. Let's press into the feet, hands laying down by the hips. We're going to press our pelvic bone off the floor just a little bit, just an inch or two, pressing into the feet and releasing back down to the floor. And inhaling back up. And exhaling back to the floor. Inhaling up. Maybe you take your bridge a little higher each time you do this. Till you get to maybe your full expression of bridge. Pressing into your feet, glutes are at ease. Let's take a couple of breaths here in your bridge. And exhaling back down to the floor. From here, we're going to come into sitting, into whatever our easy seat is. But I don't want you to think about how you're going to get there. Just want you to do it. So don't think about, are you going to rock and roll forward? Are you going to go to the side? Just let it happen organically and naturally. And your easy seat might be crisscross applesauce. It might be a hero where your knees are underneath you. Your hips are on your heels. Your legs may be out straight in front of you in a staff, kind of a staff. Whatever your easy seat is fantastic. And another little trick that I learned is you want your hips, you actually want your hips a little above your knees. So if you got your blanket handy, go ahead and place that blanket underneath your hips. If my legs aren't as flexible, my knees aren't as flexible, my hips aren't as flexible as they once used to be. So go ahead and raise those hips up just a little bit. And when you're there, let's take a nice deep inhale, exhale, just sighing out everything, all of our breath. Maybe you take that breath and expand it again into the pelvic floor. Open your mouth and let it go. Let's do that 2 more times. Drop our chin to our chest. And with our nose, let's do some half circles, some half moons, smiley faces. Taking our nose to one side and then the other. Just pairing our breath and our movement here. Inhaling one way, exhaling the other. Maybe you take it all the way around next time, making some big circles with your nose. When you're ready, reverse directions. And let's come back to center. Bring our heart forward. So our shoulder blades are going to go a little bit together behind us. And we're going to fold. And then we're going to take some big body circles. So we can bring one shoulder up forward at a time. Heart to follow. Again, pairing that breath and movement. Reversing directions when you're ready. Our legs out in front of us if you're not already there. Knees can be bent a little. Let those feet fall. You know, we want them straight up and perpendicular to our knees. Let them be toes over, knees over toes. Let our hands come to our side. Lift those palms up. Inhale. And take a little fold over. Letting your hands fall where they fall, whether it be at the knee, at the ankle, or all the way to the feet. Let your shoulders drop. And breathe. Smelling freshly cut grass at my house. Take a moment. What smells are you smelling? Did you cook breakfast? Notice. No judgment for any smells or not having any smells. Just a little noticing this morning. Breathing deeper into that fold. On your next inhale, release from wherever you are. Walk those hands gently up, finding a nice strong seat. Let's take one leg out, one leg crossed, foot to thigh. We're going to rotate from our hips. Inhale those arms up and take a fold. Again, you can bend that knee a little bit. It's a little more organic movement, more as your body is designed. And those hands can fall wherever they fall, whether it's on your thigh or your calf or all the way to your foot. Keeping your spine nice and long. That may mean your heart comes forward. Let's take one more breath. Gently walk your hands up that leg, coming back to a nice long spine. Switching legs. Again, bending that knee a little bit if that makes it easier for you. Sweeping those arms up, twisting the body, and folding down. This side may be easier or harder. You may find that you can elongate, that you can actually reach longer or reach shorter. No judgments there. Just notice. Each side of our body is made differently. Letting each exhale take us deeper. about 3 more breaths here. And walking gently up that leg, back to center. Let's swing our legs around to a side. Take the blanket out from underneath us. Coming into all fours. Okay, so I often say wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And I still think the knees under hips is a good thing. That helps your body align. But I've also been doing some more studying. And I'm learning that wherever you are is wherever you are. So if your hands need to be a little bit out in front of your shoulders, it's okay. So just find your nice strong tabletop here. Fingers spread wide. Let's sit up on our knees. Rooting down into the tops of our feet. Folding from the hips. Sinking back into those knees a little bit. Then let's plant our wide hands, wide fingers. Finding your comfortable place. We're going to tuck those toes behind us, maybe reach out a little bit longer. We're going to come into a gentle down dog, knees bent. Shoulders back and down. A little paddle of the feet. Remembering to breathe here. Unfurl your brow. Let your tongue drop. We're going to bend back into those knees. We're going to bend our arms. And then we're going to step forward. Finding our fold. Knees bent. Palms to elbows. Crown of the head. Lengthening the spine. Breathing all the way down to that pelvic floor. And releasing. Let's drop our hands to the floor. Sink into our knees just a bit more. Rolling up. Knees straighten. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, please don't round your back. Come into a nice, strong mountain. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you want to walk up your legs gently. Our nice, strong mountain here. Let's inhale up. Exhale to prayer. Inhale those prayer hands up. Exhale, releasing behind our back. Clasping our hands. Let's press that clasp hand down. Open our heart. Chin goes towards the sky. Shoulder blades together. Finding our breath. Take about 2 more breaths. Letting those hands fall. Maybe a little shake out. Maybe a little knee bend, one and then the other. Let those hands fall back to our side. Sweep up. Pray down to fold. Letting that body release. Remembering our intention today, keep calm and carry on. We're going to plant our hands down wide in front of us, intentionally setting them, placing them down, stepping one foot back and then the other, coming into down dog. Those heels don't need to be on the floor. It's okay if they're not. Finding our breath here. On the next exhale, let's move into a plank. And that can be a full expression of plank, or you may dip your knees down into a kneeling plank. Either way is okay. Keep breathing. Let's bring those elbows in tight. Bend our knees just a bit, coming down to a forward limbed, all the way down, flipping our feet below us, coming up to a baby cobra. Finding our breath. I'm going to give you a couple of choices here. You can go all the way to the floor, one cheek laid down. Hands in front of you, or laying your cheek on your hands. Or if you'd like to move into a little more challenging, we're going to come back up to down dog. Come back forward into that plank. Then we're going to do a side plank. So you can drop your knees, take that out to the side, come into your side plank like this. So your upper foot has all 4 corners on the floor, your knee is beneath you, upper hand is towards the sky. So that's one option. Or you can come into a full expression of side plank. So the inside foot is planted, the upper foot is on top. So whichever expression of plank, or if you are resting with your cheek on the floor, perfectly okay. What does your body need today? Does it need a little bit more rest, or does it need to be challenged a bit? If you're in that side plank, go ahead and gently come back down. So hand to the floor, pivoting around and back to down dog. If you're on the floor with your cheek on the floor, go ahead and bring your hands back to your ribs, tuck your toes, and let's all meet in down dog. Let's walk forward, so bending the knees, bending the elbows, stepping forward. Taking our fold. Inhaling, sliding those palms up for half lift. Exhale. exhaling back down. Let's bend into those knees, sweep those arms up gently. High mountain, hands come together, pray down, folding over. Planting those hands, fingers wide, stepping back to down dog. Remembering to breathe. Exhale forward to plank. Bringing those elbows nice and tight, coming down all the way through to our baby cobra, cobra, or up dog. This time, whichever option you would like to take. Remembering your breath. Remembering, keep calm and carry on. We can release to the floor. Other cheek goes down. That's option number one. Option number two, we tuck our toes, come back up to down dog, back to our plank. Knee drops, side plank with our knee down. Or side plank with our knee up. Holding that if you can for about 3 breaths. Coming back into plank. And if you're on the floor or wherever you are, meeting back at down dog. Bending knees, elbows in. This time you might take a hop, step, or jump. So you can step forward, you can hop forward, or you can take a jump forward to fold. Just rolling forward, straightening up, pelvis comes forward as we come into our mountain. So we're in our nice strong mountain. One of the other things that I learned about mountain this week, oh, there comes Kitty, I hope she doesn't knock anything over, is, we often say parallel feet, and that's great if your knees and your feet do that together. I found out this weekend that mine don't. So my knees kind of go out a little bit. So my mountain is actually, I've got a little bit of room. Not quite parallel, I don't know if you can see that, but my toes are actually out just a bit. And that's a great alignment. So, nice strong mountain, shoulders rounded. Tuning back into our breath. Inhaling through the nose. If you have Ujjayi breath, in your practice, go ahead and you might want to do that. We're going to inhale up. We're going to bend into our knees, sweep our arms up, and we're going to come up on our tiptoes here as the hands go over. And exhale, back down. Inhale as we rise on our toes. And exhale, back down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Let's do this about 3 more times. more time. And lower back down. Finding mountain. We're going to move into practicing tree. And I don't remember if this is the way that I led it last Monday. If we did this last Monday, all my days are running together. So we're going to shift our weight into one leg. Typically, I've shown you how to do a tree where you kickstand your heel to your ankle, and that is great. If that is your tree and that's where you are, wherever your hands go, that's perfect. But if you'd like, and I encourage you to try this, whether or not you actually succeed or not, it's a practice, so it's okay to try. If you have a hand or a chair or a wall handy, you might try that, giving yourself a little balance. So shifting your weight over to one leg, mine's shifted over to my right. My left foot is, I'm on the front of the pad of my toes, and I'm gonna lift that foot up off the ground, and then I'm gonna take it and plant it at my calf. Or, if you can, oops, maybe today, I don't know, not on the knee. Always wanting to avoid the knee. If it's available to you, planting it on your thigh. And finding your breath. And if you're not here yet, that's okay. It's a practice. God and I have arrived. Hands can be out. Hands can be up in victory. Hands can be a prayer. Focusing in on your breath. When you're ready, gently come out of that. Maybe a little wiggle wiggle. Shifting the weight over to the other side. So my weight is now on my left leg. Again, you can kickstand that heel to your ankle and be right here in tree, or you can find your focus, bring that knee up and plant it. I find I have more success on this side if I do it the second way, bringing that knee up and then planting. And this side may be different. You may have more success or less success. And when you're ready, bring that knee back forward and plant it beside you. Again, maybe a little wiggle, a little walking in place, lifting those heels up. All right, so let's find our mountain one more time. Sweep those hands up over our head on the inhale. Let's swan dive down. Folding, planting those hands, fingers wide, stepping back purposefully into our down dog. Dropping our knees to the mat. Big toes together, sinking back to child's pose. Making any adjustments with your knees you need to. Maybe you need some cushioning under, so you can take a blanket, put it under your knees if you need that. Coming into the breath here. Coming back to our intention. Keep calm and carry on. That might mean there's some moments where you go 1 second at a time or 1 minute at a time. You just do the next thing, moving forward. Knowing that more than likely the sun is going to rise tomorrow. And this is all going to be over and behind us. Keep calm and carry on. Let's walk our hands back to our knees. Come up onto our knees. Cross our legs behind us, our ankles behind us. Come into easy seat. Bring those legs through. This is the time to grab your eye cloth or eye pillow if you have one. This is the time to grab your towel if you have one, and your blanket if you have one. Have those handy because we're getting ready to roll down to our back. We're going to need this towel before we need anything else. So let's plant our feet, roll back. Let's reach out our legs long, hands up overhead. Bring those hands forward. Plant them beside you. Take our towel. I'm going to fold it over a couple or 3 times. We're going to use a towel like we would a strap at the studio. So we're going to bring our foot in, wrap that towel around the base of our foot. Actually, let's do 2. Bring both of your feet in, wrap the towel around both, and bring it high. Let your shoulders round down and back. Modified legs up the wall. Breathing here. The towel just gives us a little extra support. Keep calm and carry on. On your next exhale, go ahead and bring those knees back into the chest. Let that towel go. Set it to the side. Let's take our palms around our calves. Little frog stretch here. Let your knees fall open. Maybe you bring your soles of your feet together and your hands to your ankles. A little butterfly. Take notice of where your tongue is. Release any tension that you might be holding in your forehead or your temples or your eyes or your jaw, your shoulders, your hips. If you're in butterfly, take those hands back to the outside of the knees. Gently fold in the knees together. Take your feet to the floor. We're going to lay our hands, palms down beside our hips. We're going to press into that bridge where we started, lifting our pelvic floor off the ground into that bridge, softening the glutes, pressing into our feet. Three breaths. And you can roll your bridge down one vertebrae at a time, or you can flat back all the way down. Take those legs out long. Let's take those arms back over our head. Stretching, reaching toes, reaching fingers. Maybe tightening everything up. Bringing those hands down to our side, up over our head, or sliding them down the floor, either way. And releasing that tension. Finding our eye pillow, finding our blanket. Finding our final resting place for this hour. Once you're comfy wherever you are, I'd invite you to go ahead and squeeze. Put your fists together. Tighten your feet, your legs, your shoulders, your heart center. Take a nice deep breath and release it all. Let everything go. Let's move into an ocean wave breath. Starting with your breath coming up over your feet, your calves, your thighs, your hips, heart center, all the way to the crown of your head and back out. Let's do that 2 or 3 more times. Imagining breathing your breath into your feet, over your calves, thighs, heart center, and exhaling. All the way up once again. Exhaling, releasing into your normal breath pattern. Being where you are just for the next few minutes. Focusing maybe back in on that intention. Keep calm and carry on. In a few moments, I'll wake you up gently. But for now, be where you are. When you're ready, gently begin wiggling fingers and toes. A little rock of the head from side to side, slowly, mindfully, and gently waking the body, or staying right where you are. If you'd like, you can bring your knees into your chest. Roll over, typically to your right side, taking those hands, palms together, pillow for your cheek. Being here for just another few moments. Or another few minutes. I can't see you, so you can stay right where you are as long as you like. So if you're staying where you are, that's fantastic. If not, let's sweep our hands up over. Exhale, pray down to heart center. I wish you peace, joy, completeness, and wholeness. Shalom. Thanks for joining me today. If you were here, I won't make you take a selfie unless you want to, like Jen does. If you want to post a selfie and put it in the comments, that's great. Then I can put a face with a name. If not, that's okay. Just say, hey, thanks, or hey, I was here, or, thumbs up, or, something just to let me know that you were here today. Have a great week. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message or ask in the comments. And I will see you back here next week. Have a great week, you guys. Bye.